In this video, we'll be taking a look at one college football game happening on September 11th, 2025, and providing you with a free team pick and total pick for this game. So 2 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on this one college football game after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start, if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. North Carolina State versus Wake Forest. The NC State Wolfpack and the Wake Forest Demon Deacons are set to put their early unbeaten streaks on the line Thursday night in Winston-Salem in this NC State versus Wake Forest prediction. The two sides squared off last season, with Wake Forest pulling off a 34-30 road win. NC State is fresh off a tight 4-point win over Virginia at home, while Wake Forest handled business in a 32-point blowout against Western Carolina. The Wake Forest Demon Deacons come into this matchup 2-0 after rolling past Western Carolina 42-10 last weekend. Wake jumped out to a 21-0 lead in the first quarter, cooled off a bit in the second with no points, but still went into the breakup 21-3. They exploded again in the third for 3 more touchdowns and never looked back in the final frame. Statistically, Wake held a 542-238 advantage in total yards, converted 4 of 10 on third downs, and lost the turnover battle 3-2. Quarterback Robbie Ashford finished 13-22 with 227 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Tailback Demon Claiborne was the star with just 10 carries for 193 yards and 3 touchdowns. Chris Barnes led the passing game with 6 grabs for 149 yards. Wake opened their season with a narrow 10-9 victory over Kennesaw State. On the year, the Demon Deacons are averaging 26 points per game, posting 243.5 yards through the air and 201.5 on the ground, while surrendering just 9.5 points per contest. Ashford is completing 66% of his throws for 445 yards, 1 score, and 1 pick. Barnes has caught 9 passes for 172 yards, while Claiborne leads the rushing attack with 212 yards and 3 touchdowns on only 13 carries. The NC State Wolfpack are also 2-0 after outlasting Virginia 35-31 in their last outing. NC State found themselves down 14-7 after the first quarter and trailed 24-14 at halftime. They stormed back with 21 points in the third to grab a 35-31 lead but failed to score in the final frame, needing a big defensive stop inside the red zone to hold on. Stat-wise, NC State was outgained 514-416, went just 1-7 on third down, but did win the turnover battle 1-7-0. CJ Bailey threw 16-23 for 200 yards and 1 touchdown, while Hollywood Smothers pounded the ground for 140 yards and 2 scores on 17 carries. Terrell Anderson hauled in 3 catches for 44 yards to lead the receiving corps. The Wolfpack's season opener was another tight contest, a 24-17 win over East Carolina that came down to the final possession. So far, NC State is averaging 29.5 points with 259 passing yards and 160.5 rushing yards per outing. The defense is giving up 24 points a game. Bailey has been efficient, completing over 70% of his passes for 518 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Wesley Grimes is their leading wideout with 6 catches for 154 yards and a score. Smothers is carrying the load on the ground with 216 yards and 3 touchdowns on 39 carries. The Thursday night Atlantic Coast Conference slate kicks off early in the season with NC State heading to Wake Forest. Both squads are 2-0, though neither has looked particularly convincing. Expectations for both programs are modest, as they are projected toward the lower half of the Atlantic Coast Conference. With so many new faces from the transfer portal still working into rotations, both teams bring a lot of unpredictability. NC State barely slipped past Virginia, a team that isn't exactly feared, and got outgained badly in that contest. The Cavaliers ran 18 more plays and controlled most of the game, but somehow still lost. That raises real doubts doubts about NC State's ceiling. Wake, meanwhile, is in a rebuild under new head coach Jack Dickert, who came over from Oregon State. A defense-first coach, Dickert has wisely built his offense around running back Demon Claiborne, the team's best weapon. Despite only 10 carries last week, Claiborne gashed Western Carolina for 193 yards and 3 touchdowns. Expect Wake to pound the rock against NC State, looking to drag this game into a slugfest. The Wolfpack's average margin of victory so far is just 5.5 points, and they've gone 5-11 against the spread in their last 16 games. They have been even in turnovers this season, generating no net advantage, which makes it tough to pull away in games. Despite being the more talented team on paper, NC State hasn't rewarded bettors as a favorite, posting a 2-11 against the spread mark in their last 13 games when laying 5 or more points. They failed to cover their last 6 road games in that same spot. On the other side, Wake Forest is running the ball with confidence and getting after quarterbacks. Add in the weekday home dog factor, and this is a dangerous spot for the Wolfpack. The underdog has won outright in 3 of the last 5 meetings between these two. Both teams are 2-0, but neither has looked sharp. Wake almost stumbled against Kennesaw State, while NC State barely got by East Carolina and Virginia. Neither team inspires a ton of confidence, but with NC State living on the edge and looking shaky on defense, Wake plus the points feels like the right side. As our first pick for this matchup, the Wake Forest Demon Beacons to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. NC State's rushing attack is averaging 160.5 yards per game. Defensively, they are giving up 24 points and 463.5 yards a contest. Wake Forest's ground game is stronger, averaging 201.5 yards, while their defense is allowing only 9.5 points and 272.5 yards per game. This is Wake's first Atlantic Coast Conference game of the season, also marking Jack Dickert's debut in league play. Oddsmakers have Wake set as 7.5-point underdogs, so the approach will likely be to slow the pace, limit possessions, and hang around until the end. Both squads lean on their feature backs, each already over 200 rushing yards this year. Ashford is making his first big start for Wake, but he won't be asked to sling it much. Expect a ground-heavy battle that stays closer than the number suggests. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.